Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Can you guys hear me out there in YouTube land? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me know if you can hear me. Drew Ross, what I say, Drew? Bless up, Drew. All things. It's a good football. Hey, Drew, your team win yesterday, no? Your team win yesterday, it's a good thing. And my team won today. Well, them draw today. It's a good draw. Bless up, Markland Barrett. You know, I have my family is Barrett, you know. My mother's side of the family is Barrett, you know. What you doing, Barrett? Which part of Jamaica come from, Barrett? Kranky the walking ATM upward Badman. Knew nothing. We're not walking ATM at all. We walk past ATMs. Bless up Sherman Scott. How you doing, Sherman? Thanks for joining. We have enough to talk about today. It's a quick show, you know, because I watch my Knicks play this evening, so that's why I come on early. I normally try to come on like 8:30, but my Knicks play at 8. And I'm a big basketball fan. So I'm going to jump into it because, as I said, time is short today. We have 4 main topics. We're going to talk NBA basketball, quick overview of the upcoming games. We're going to talk about Champions League because Arsenal play tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit about the EPL because we see a brilliant game a while ago. Well, it was sort of brilliant. Every time I mess it up, but them do them job. We're going to talk world relays a little bit. And then we're going to talk JFF football. Because just read a story from the Gleaner today. That's what I do the show, you know. And boy, I said to myself, so we have to talk about this, So I'm jumping at it. I'm jumping into it. First thing in NBA basketball. We're not staying long for the basketball thing. You know, it's my basketball lover. We're not staying long. The Knicks are playing Philadelphia tonight, 8 p.m. And I think like 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. The Spurs play Minnesota, and then tomorrow we have the Lakers playing Oklahoma City, and then Detroit play Cleveland. So the only upset we had in the East, the Eastern Conference, was Boston losing to Philly. Even though with Embiid playing, it's not really upset. And then my Knicks had some trouble with Hawks early, but we put them away. We teach them, we beat them. Markland, same family. Family's originally from Kingston. Okay, no. You come from up that side, we come from the other side. But people spread out. Probably the CM Slave Master, Marlon, CM Slave Master. CM Slave Master household. So it was a good weekend in terms of sports. So in terms of basketball, let me just finish that. I'm looking forward to the game with the Knicks and Philadelphia. The question for us is, as Knicks fan, can we control Embiid? Because they have a good team. Maxey is difficult. George playing well. Edgecombe is a good player. Oubre playing well. They have a good team. A good starting 5 anyway. I don't think their bench is deep as our bench. So it should be good. It should be good. I hope we play Cat at the point forward and let him do his thing. Have Aniobi guard Embiid because Cat can guard Embiid. Not Ken Robinson, by the way. Embiid is a hardcover. Embiid is a hardcover. Bless up Vacation Phone. Vacation Phone Jamaica, I should say. So it should be a good game. And I'm not really looking forward to Spurs Minnesota because Minnesota is between Divoschenko being injured, their talisman being injured. Then backcourt gone. I don't think they can beat Spurs. Not with Wemby playing. That's not happening. And then the Lakers against Oklahoma City. That won't take long. It's probably a sweep actually. If Lakers win one game, they're lucky. And then I don't know how to pick the Cleveland-Detroit game because Detroit can't shoot, except against the Knicks. So, and Cleveland weren't that good against a very mediocre Toronto team. So we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to it. And then I jump into the World Relays. Now, I watched some of the World Relays this weekend. Jamaica actually topped the tables, as you can see here. They finished with 2 golds and 1 silver, and they topped the U.S. too. But the U.S. didn't send most of their better runners, actually, in any of the events. Not 4x4. And even though they won the 4x1 for men, they didn't send their better teams. So it should be interesting. Even though I'm not sure anybody's 4x4 men can beat Botswana. I think the U.S. women will just win 4x4 easily, whenever and wherever. We did well in the 4x1 for women. And you see the 3 Williams and Thompson up there, Tom Sahara there, Elaine. I thought they ran really well in the final. The Sharika ran in the first. I think Sharika and Smith ran in the first round, and then Sharika wasn't in the last round. So I'm kind of interesting about that. I thought that was interesting. But they won convincingly. You know, they got the baton about 5 meters behind. I thought Elaine looked like she pulled something because she ran by the runner from, was it Canada, pretty easily, and then slowed up. So I'm not sure what was happening there. But she looked pretty comfortable after the race. So be curious to know if she just didn't want to stress herself or did she feel something and decide to slow down. But they... Jura says, Jay, we'll stop using those to their advantage. Yeah, I mean, look, they perform well. And they did something smart, I think, actually. They made sure they put their better runners in the mixed race. So both Clayton twins, Golson, and Blake ran. Because the 4x1 men was awful. And the 4x4 men, awful. We have to do something about our 4x4 men. We got to do better coaching about 4x4s. 400 and 800 meters, we got to figure something out. I know 4x4 is probably the hardest race to run. I was talking to a friend of mine today who used to run for KC and run at like Carifta a long time ago in my time. And he was saying when he was at KC, you know, when you're running 400, you're running 600 and then you're doing 600 meters, 3 in a row. And then he says it's even worse when you come to the US because then they have you doing cross country like 5 miles. So it does take a lot out of you actually. And that's why people don't like to do the 400. Someone said, "Not full control, shutting it down." Yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting shutdown, actually. I don't like them kind of shutdown there. You can't hurt yourself a shutdown that way. Shut down too quick. You have a shutdown gradually to me. You can't go top speed and just shut down. She almost shut it down totally, actually. That's not a good way to do it. Jura said, we have some strong prospects for the 4x4. Yeah, but I don't... Maybe they didn't go... None of the women in the 4x4 team actually went to Botswana. And the men didn't have the best team. But when I see some of these teams running, look at the teams. US didn't bring anybody, basically. Right? But look at Botswana. And when I was watching the race, Botswana won in front of South Africa. And South Africa is very, very good. And Australia has become extremely good. Look at that race. Tobago got caught on the second leg. I think he ran about 43.6 he ran? And he got caught in the second leg. But when Botswana got the baton last, and I saw Colin, what's his name? Kipashipi, whatever his last name is. I always struggle with his last name. When I saw him got the baton, Kipi Napshipi, I think his name is. When I saw him got the baton, I was like, it's over. There's no way he's not winning this race. You know how I love how he runs? The way he runs is this. He will get the baton. He will do the first 200. You know, most people say run the first 200 hard, then you settle. He will run his race based on his competitors. He never tries to go to the front early. He saves a lot for the stretch run. And he's never behind per se. He's always up, ducking the shoulder of the runner on the inside, so he don't get boxed in. And when he got the bat, I say it's over. And his running style, because he's run under 10 seconds already, you just realize it's over. Who is the KC friend? His name was Charles Headlam, actually. He ran before I went to KC, but he and I are good friends, actually. He used to have records at champs, like 400, 800 records. No, not 800, but he had 400 records at champ for a long, long time, actually. But no, he was a brilliant, brilliant runner. Dominant. When KC was dominant, he used to be in that era, actually. And then Seabar took over. Alcover said, no matter what team, the men should be at least run 258. That's true. Well, that's better said than done. If you can't run 3 when the boys ever run just about 3, 306, 307, 308, then it's not a good thing. Yeah, and with that speed and that stamina, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. He was, when he got the bat, and I'm like, it's over. There's no way he's losing this. And even sometime when he's running, he looks like he's going to lose. He just times it brilliantly. I love his running style. I love how he runs. By the way, people, if you're in the chat, please hit the like button. So, no, the World Relays were good. We did really well. We didn't bring our best team in the men's 4x1. I mentioned the whole civil saga. To me, that was nonsense. And we're giving too much allowance to people to do those things. But I can understand why some of the athletes, given this year, and it's a throwaway year, are not running in the best meets. They're just making their money and make sure they prepare themselves for the World Championship next year and the Olympics afterwards. So, kind of understand, but I don't want the excuse that somebody didn't go because things conflict. Not in a conflict. I'm going to set up the conflict. I'm not care if we go. And I didn't hear an excuse for Kishe not going. I didn't hear the excuse. So now we come to the Champions League, and there are 2 games remaining in the semifinals. Arsenal plays Atletico Madrid tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Emirates Stadium. First game drew 1-1. We should have gotten a penalty. We didn't get the penalty. I understand people say the penalty was soft. It's not about being soft. It's about whether or not you committed a foul or whether or not the ref called it and whether or not it should be overturned. So Drew Ross, yesterday, it appeared that Sesko handled the ball. And I know you're going to score a goal with a handball. But because it was a little bit subjective, it was hard to discern. It wasn't called. And you know what? If you give a goal on the field, and you can't tell if you hand the ball or not, then you have to live with the outcome, right? You have to live with the outcome. So that may have been a fair decision, even though I'm sure if you are Liverpool, then it wouldn't be that way. In our game, the ref called on the field. There was no angle that showed you that Eze wasn't fouled, and yet he overturned the call, which is ridiculous. I'm not sure how that goes. But it doesn't matter. We have a chance to put them away tomorrow, and let's see how that works out. And Saka is back. He played really well against Fulham this weekend. Gokores has some confidence. I don't think Odegaard is back. I don't see Timber in training, so I'm not sure what's happening. Lewis Kelly was brilliant this weekend. And I have been calling for Lewis Kelly for a while now. I have been saying I don't like sideways, backwards passes that Zubimendi does. I want a kid who's fearless, who's going to take some risk, who may cause you some angst, but who's going to be a differentiator. And this weekend, he was brilliant. If it wasn't for Gokores' 2 goal and Saka brilliant first half, we would have got man of the match. He was that good. And he's a midfielder, not a left back. He's been shown up at left back, but he's a midfielder. I don't think he's going to start. I know he's not going to start again at Atletico Madrid. Why am I getting tongue-tied here? I know he's not going to start against Atletico Madrid because that's not how Arteta operates. But at the same time, hopefully he'll get some game time because he's a really good player. If you review for 10 minutes Drew Ross, that means you can't overturn it, Drew Ross. 10 minutes tell you people, so Drew Ross is talking about the penalty. 10 minutes say, I can't make up my mind. They reviewed the Jamaica goal. They reviewed DR Congo goal against Jamaica for about the same 10 minutes, didn't they? And they didn't call it back because they could make up their minds. I'm not sure they were looking at the handball. I guess they were. And different angles show a handball. They didn't call it back because it's not clear and obvious. If it's not clear and obvious, you can't call it back. What is that? RB Gaming said, breaking news. Toxic boss lost his stadium to Speed. Really? What does that mean? Speed bought a stadium? I know Speed bought a bunch of stuff for his team. And buy a building, and buy a bus, and spend the messy money well. Nitro says he's always been a midfielder. I had to convert him to left back. Like Nico Raleigh, he's a midfielder. No, he didn't really convert him to left back. What happened was, do you remember that game he played against City? Here's what happens sometimes. Somebody get put in a position, they do well, and they keep them there. So when we played City, when we drew 1-1 with them at their place, when Trossard got the red card, remember he put him in? I think he put him at right back, actually. And he played well. And then after that, he put him at left back, and he did well. He came to the whole season, played really, really well. But this year, he got shown up. Wingers with trickery and with speed goes by him, so he hasn't played well there, but he's a midfielder. We knew he grew up through the academy playing midfield. And that's where he belongs. And he was going to get to play midfield against Mansfield, but something happened. He was named to be the midfielder. I don't know if he got injured or something, and they didn't play him there. So B Game said, yes, Cavaliers now own Chapelton Maroon Stadium. What did Speed buy the stadium? Did he buy it from them? Where's Chapelton Maroon based, by the way? I thought that was that's not Kingston, is it? I'm showing up myself now because I can't recall. Where's the stadium? Oh, he bought it. Okay. I know he was looking for someplace. I know more than I should know, but I know he was looking to acquire something. I think he needs to be in a community. Cavaliers been around. How long Cavaliers been around? From the 60s? A long time, When William Duncan won it. A long time. Maypen. Okay. That's why I thought it was strange. I know it wasn't Kingston. So if it's Maypen, if I Clarendon it there, then Speed or trainer, all that work for Speed. I don't understand. Well, I guess you can jump on the highway nowadays and it take you less than an hour. So you can reach down there quick. That's interesting. 1930s? That long? Right. I mean, I look at boy Cavaliers around. 1930s? That long? Cavaliers one on the team, Cavaliers never really have a homegrown per se. You have no homegrown, Cavaliers and Santos. Bar people feel. Then like Arnett Gardens or Tipple and Tina were a community team. Yeah, that's interesting actually. So Speed exercise in power, money power. Toxic never know. Some people might touch that a little bit before me jump in EPL. You know what? I'll come back and touch it after I'm done EPL. I'm done EPL, I'm just go to Jamaica after this. Because we'll leave early now. We'll leave early tonight. We're now stay past 7 o'clock. So let me say this. We'll try not to play at 7 o'clock. In the Premier League, as you know, this weekend Arsenal won. It's a 2-horse race, So you can see from the table, people. This is the Premier League table. And I can't read that. I can't read that. The Premier League table is beautiful. I love it. Hey, Nitro, don't you love this table, Nitro? I've talked to the Arsenal fan in my chat. In Nitro, you know about table in Nitro? We have 3 games remaining for Arsenal, 4 games remaining for Manchester City. Arsenal are on 76 points, Man City 71. If good old Arsenal beat West Ham, Burnley, and Crystal Palace, it's done. See? No one's Nitro would support me, Nitro. Bless up, it's beautiful. Now, today, yesterday, Saturday, Arsenal won 3-0 against Fulham. We battered them. We look good. Saka come back and look good. Gokares learned to play football. And also me always not support Gokares because if he can't play football except when he gets some sub steam. Because Gokares hasn't scored against nobody except the bottom team them. Score against Man City, score against Chelsea, score against Liverpool, score against Man U. That's why I get vexed to Gokares. But at least he must score against a bad team them, which is a good thing. I'm not going to say we are champs, Dr. Dan. I'm not that presumptuous. We have 3 games to go. We are known as Arsenal. We are known as battlers. We'll find a way to mess it up. But the good thing is that we have points in the bag. That's the good thing, people. Today, when I watched the game, I almost turned the game off in the first half, and I'm saying every time I get about 6. Hey, Drinix, where I say? I mistakenly thought you were football guru. Because you're right, like football guru. Who is a nemesis on this channel. Bless up, good afternoon. Thanks for joining. But it was a brilliant game. Everton came back, and people, let me say something. It is unbelievable and unprofessional for a football team to go up 3-1 and on the kickoff, they give up a goal. If you're cussing a star, what are you doing? You play centre half. You're Michael Ricketts and Tarkowski. You play centre half against Haaland. And you open up like the Red Sea. Rotted. The man has passed the ball on the middle. Haaland is going on. Brilliant finish by Haaland and go score. What the hell are they thinking? And then Barry in the last part of the game. Barry get the ball. Before he put the ball on the field, he might try dribble and dribble the ball out of bounds. Man get the ball through and go score. Now, I think this player has a chance to be the best player in football. Who may I talk about, people? This player has a chance to be the best player in football. He just needs some consistency. Who may I talk about, people? Let me see if you know who may I talk about. But me like the chatter. Me wait, Pauno. I think this player is a player to be the best player in football. Best player in football. No doubt in my mind. If him can just use him brain more. Yeah, exactly. Hey, people. Doku. I think a DOK Union spell. I saw Doku play about 6 years ago when he was in France, and then I saw him play for Belgium. Just a start out. I said, how would I look at you to star? Nobody can mark him. Him just a stop and start, wiggle this, wiggle that. And then him go to City. City always buy them tricky people, them buy Turkey, them buy Doku, them always buy them people. I tell you, star. Hey, today, I must say one time you get tackling, the man start kicking down. You can't win the ball if somebody start kick him down. Them just start put them foot through him. Him just have a low center of gravity. He freezes you. Him can go left or right. You know, I always tell defenders, push the player down the wing. Me I push down Doku. Me not push him down the wing. You know why I'm going inside? I can go inside today. I'm score 2. But if him go down the wing, he might beat you up on the line and carry the ball inside and cut back to find Haaland or somebody up in the box. And the only player I see give Timber a hard time. If Doku just do some smarter things when he get to the byline, when he get to the 18, man, he is ridiculous. I am predicting if Belgium does well at the World Cup, he's going to be the star of the World Cup. If me I play with Doku, me I say give him the ball. I say, go do your thing, my youth. And me I run off him to make him roll it so me can kick it down the goal. Seriously, Doku is ludicrous. I mean, is the one player I see in football. Maybe Rash Schleyer, dude from PSG is also pretty good. The one player I see, if you're 2 men mark him, I just joke. It's like, oh, only 2 no? Sure, waste of time. You have to use out 3 and 4 people to mark him. And you have to try to reach him first to push him down because his stop and start he's so quick. And the same fast and him just quick twitches, freeze your go. You don't know if you go left or right. I'm surprised he doesn't get more penalties, actually. I am surprised because maybe he's trying to stand up instead of just dive. But no, Doku is ridiculous. And I was very concerned today that every time I was going to give it to people. And when I feel I watch a game, and on my team, I say to myself, ref, just blow off the whistle and rest. I check the time. I say 6 minutes, let me say 6 minutes too long. City can score 2 in 6 minutes, you know. And they scored what? In the 80-something minute. Everton scored in the 80-something minute, and then come back and score. And then Doku scored that screamer at the end. I was hoping we'd have a three-point lead so we can afford to lose a game. And it'd just be goal difference, but we don't have that luxury. Yes, I am glad you're saying that. Ciablo, please stay humble. Please stay humble. It's not over until it's over. And we're good at bottling things. So. But now the players have a motivation. We're playing West Ham, who are fighting for their lives at their place. We're playing Burnley at home, supposed to beat them. And then we have Crystal Palace, who probably have a final a few days after that and can't play them best team. No way, shape, or form. So West Ham had a tough game. Next game, West Ham had a tough game. No, man, we'll beat Crystal Palace, man. West Ham a tough game. Forest won today. Palmer off the plane. Forest won. You know what? I don't know what happened to Chelsea. You know, they lost, 6 in a row? They look awful. And that penalty that was given away by the right back today was beyond belief. Like, the player wasn't going to reach that ball to head it in the goal in the first place. And you're going to pull him with VAR? Like, you got to understand today nowadays, you can't do things under this discreet, because VAR going to see it. And VAR going to call it back to the referee, especially if you try to commit some kind of a foul or think you can get away with it. That doesn't work. Chelsea fans like Devon Porter disappears. They disappear. Remember, call out Devon. When people beat up Manchester, I'm a Chelsea fan and disappear. So, but Arsenal fans need to stay humble. Even when we win, I think we should be even more humble when we win. I'm going to be more humble when we win. I don't get too high or too low, actually. Celebrated 22 years, but we have 3 games to go. I'm sure Arteta, and when Arteta win, they must say, coronate him, got coronation, him the best thing since sliced bread. And someone want him fired. I was always on the fence. Now I come off high fence with Arteta. I don't want him fired, but he's got to win something. But I like the table. Now, if we look at the rest of the table, Man U's in the Champions League, they have 64 points. So is Liverpool. I think Villa is there too, but they've been poor of late. Villa and Liverpool have 11 losses. Us and City have 5 losses, but City has 1 more draw than we do. And they have played 2 less games than we have. Well, no, 1 less game because they played today. But yeah, our form has not been the best. We lost 2 of our last 5 games. City has not lost in their last 5, but they've drawn 2. And I keep telling people, when you draw 2 games, it's 1 loss and an extra point that you lost. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, no, Chelsea they fell off a cliff. They shouldn't have fired Maresca. They shouldn't have fired the coach. They paid the price. The coach was not happy with certain things and how they're making decisions in the boardroom, but that was not a good decision. So let's move away from that now and talk Jamaica football. So more recently, what was I doing? I was online today and I saw this article. Well, this article. So, we've been talking about, let me take it out first. We've been talking about Jamaica football quite a bit and the coaching situation. And previously, the president, Michael Ricketts, had come out and said that he wanted Rudolph Speed to be the coach and Miguel Cole to be his assistant. They were going to go to Uni Cup and he come back and take over the role. He didn't say a time period. And many of us expressed concern about whether or not we shouldn't have a more holistic process for sourcing and replacing McLaren as head coach of the national team. Rudolph obviously was interim coach from December 15th until the day after, I would guess. We lost to DR Congo and didn't make the World Cup. Harbour View won One Love the other day, so they have been relegated now. At least not yet. And, we have been saying we're not comfortable with a process whereby you just appoint somebody to coach. Especially when it was clear that the coach was being appointed was the architect of the World Cup campaign and therefore was culpable for us not making a campaign. Now, we won't go back in all of history, but he was culpable as to why we didn't make the World Cup. And therefore, it appears we will be rewarding him with a coaching position when he hasn't done anything to substantiate that he should assume that position. Now, As interim coach, he didn't do a terrible job with the 2 games. Barely beat New Caledonia and lost to Congo. But the only way he could have recovered from the situation, only way to me he could have gotten some support is if he qualified to the World Cup. It was a do or die situation. You qualify, and he was pretty confident. You qualify, you're good. You don't qualify, you got to pay the price bill. Now, the president, obviously, wanted him to be in the role. It's almost like it was announced, The JFF had set up this situation whereby, and I've talked about it before, whereby they have moved, and I think they want to give him, I don't know if they orchestrated this just to get him the position, but they had moved to put in place for each of the national teams a locally born and locally based coach, apart from maybe the women's national team, who Busby's the coach, and Busby actually spent a lot of time in Jamaica too. So it's not like he doesn't spend time in Jamaica, he spent a lot of time in Jamaica, a lot of time. Down on the St. Anne area, I think he's based down there, but he spends a ton of time in Jamaica. But in the rest of the positions, they put Wendell Downswell for the under 17, who was the prior technical something. I don't know what he was because he wasn't technical director. Then they put Rudolph Austin for head up the under 20, with the view that they would put Rudolph Speed as head of the men's national team. To me, it's all orchestrated. Now, it all looked fine and looked well rehearsed and well set and was going to materialize until we got knocked out of the World Cup. And I'm not sure what happened, but the board of directors, Rudolph had resigned from technical committee. So the technical committee responsibility is to provide a list of persons to the board who should be considered for position to head the coaching role for the national team. And apparently, the technical committee had some reservations about Speed assuming that role, and or the board may have influenced, because there's some people that come to the board now, may have influenced the technical committee about how they should consider this. So it was supposed to be that Rudolph and Coley were going to go to this friendly tournament, Unity Cup, which we had last year. And then, obviously, that would be like almost like another practice run. They don't have enough practice run because they need to practice. Because manage the international team. They would come back and they would take over the role on a more permanent basis. And people were talking about monetary compensation, and that Speed wanted 5 million Jamaican dollars per month, which I think works out to be 30-something,000, which works out to be over 300,000 a year in US dollars, which would be commensurate with what was paid to previous coaches hired in the role. That would be Hogrimson and McLaren. I think they got paid more than that, but it's a lot of money if you live in Jamaica. I think when Tapa was the coach, he got paid less than $100,000 a year. He was very much underpaid. In fact, one of the most underpaid coaches in the history of probably football in this region, frankly. It's ridiculous. But he took it, so that's on him. And sometimes you don't have alternative, right? I'm not sure what the financial situation is, but he shouldn't have taken less than 100. He shouldn't have taken anything less than a couple $100,000 a year. Given that's what the role entailed. But JFF didn't have money. So if that was me, it was him, you're going to pay me until you get some money. So me, I put in my contract. So you're paying me $300,000 a year or $250,000. And you can only pay me $50,000 now. So you do me like Bobby Bonilla do for the Mets. You owe me. Bobby Bonilla go get paid by the Mets. He retired about 20 years ago. He might get paid till like 2035 or something like that, 2040, some nonsense. Or like Alan Iverson did with Reebok, which is you pay me some money now, but you defer the money some long term over a period of time. Tapa didn't do that. JFF didn't have no money, so he probably was a good servant, a nationalist. You know, some people that use the word nationalist. Tapa a nationalist. Because only nationalists will take that kind of money there. I'm happy with it, especially with the grief where it comes with. So I digress. So the board was supposed to meet June 19th to make the decision about the coaching situation. they postponed that till May 5th. Now, as you know, May 5th is tomorrow. And I just read this in the newspaper, so I'm going to try to read it. I'm going to put it up on the screen and try to read what it says. So here it goes. Now help me read. You know, somebody can't read too well. Let me read. All right, so it says, I try to blow it up so no one can see it. The appointment of the next Reggae Boys head coach, which was expected to take place tomorrow at a Jamaica Football Federation board meeting, will be delayed by a month after the technical committee recommended an extended timeline for finding a suitable candidate. Now, I find that very interesting, because we were initially told it was going to be Speed and Coley. Then we were told about 4 people. The person came in and said about 4 people applied. Seemed like they were all local. And now we seem to be expanding the scope of who may be eligible to apply. So a question arises is, have we put this out to the general public globally to say we're trying to source the national team? So anyone who have an interest and have the requisite criteria that's being utilized to assess and make determination, has that been done? I don't know. But let's keep going. JFF President Michael Ricketts disclosed that the technical committee wants to open the door for more applications to come in. Interesting. So now the technical committee say, you know what? We don't want a one-man show to select the coach. We need to go make sure, so we do a broad search, then make a decision. He noted that the technical committee has recommended a 1-month contract for the previous technical staff, led by Rudolph Speed and assisted by Miguel Coley, to continue until after Unity Cup, when a long-term successor will be named. Very interesting. A board, I have a question. I have a statement to make to you now. Before me going, you know what? Let me do this. Let me talk about it. To become the head coach is a process, Ricketts commented. So Ricketts just find that out, because he may push for Speed to be the head coach. So no, my finance is a process. So you have to apply. Mr. Speed has to apply like everyone else. And I know for sure there would have been 3 or 4 coaches who have applied. Technical committee is the group that handles the employment and recommendations of these coaches. We got a document from the technical committee which recommended that we ask the present coaching staff to continue until the Unity Cup. Actually, it should say until after the Unity Cup in England. So they are suggesting, and I think wisely so, right to the president wise up, and correctly so, that we ask the present staff of technical persons to continue until after Unity Cup. Then we'll open up again and ask people to reapply, and then we go through the process, he revealed. Speed, the interim coach for Jamaica's 2 intercontinental playoff games in March, and his assistant Coley are currently the 2 frontrunners for the head coach job. So they're not saying Coley to be Speed assistants. They're saying they're both candidates to head up the Jamaica football. However, there have been some pushback to Speed's reappointment. He has come under some criticism for the boys' failure at the intercontinental playoffs in Mexico. Now stop the nonsense, Gleaner. That's not why he's under pressure. No life to write them things sometime in Star. Stop the nonsense. Mexico have nothing to do with this. The Cavalier boss is mainly criticized for his squad selection and substitutions in the final against eventual qualifier Democratic Republic of Congo. We defeated Reggae Boys 1-0 in extra time. He has also faced criticism for his role. Okay, now this is not better. In the hiring and subsequent separations from coaches Jaime Hagrimson and Steve McLaren during his role as technical committee chairman prior to his coaching appointment. Speed's main rival for the full-time job, Coley, has submitted his application. In recent weeks, Coley has also been receiving strong support, both publicly and in the boardroom. However, Speed still has strong influence inside the federation. The Unity Cup tournament, which will include Jamaica, India, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe, takes place in England May 26th through 30th. And although most of the football public believe it would be ideal for a long-term coach to begin at Unity Cup, the federation is apparently in no rush to find a suitable person. So that was the story from the Gleaner. So I'll mention a couple of things. Before I do, I'll take your comments, then I'll just jump into my little soliloquy. Let me see if there's anything here. I'm still talk about bless up Wayne Thompson. I'm still talk about what Arsenal. We passed Arsenal, man. We gone. Let me say a couple of things. Speed is in charge for a month. Same of the Unity Cup. Speed has been given the best opportunity now to prove himself in the people. Him get to play 2 games in the Caribbean for same about 3-1 record. Him get to go at New Caledonia. Go play against Intercontinental playoffs. Sorry, not New Caledonia, but he play against them. Then go Unity Cup. So he get a chance to prove himself. And he get a chance to pick who he want to pick. Now, in support of Speed, which may sound strange, if Speed didn't botch this World Cup qualification, I may even have considered him. You want me to consider him? Because I've seen in the last, maybe since he took over, that Speed has been extremely open to use meritocracy as the basis for selection in the national squad. Now, some people will say he didn't select Whisper, and that was feelings had. Well, he did select Bailey. And I think what Speed has done, which may affect him negatively, I think he sort of over-relies on the quote-unquote performance metrics to inform him about making certain decisions. And then it seems contradictory and hypocritical when he may say, for example, you're not playing football on a regular basis. Say Whisper at Chelsea Academy and Leicester, but Ethan Pinnock is not playing, but he's getting game time. And even though he tried to justify that by saying, well, Ethan trains a certain way, because how they prepare Premier League players, I think Leicester was a Premier League team, probably trained the same way too. So it's hard to justify some of those decisions, right? But having said that, unlike some other people, one of them who I took the task and when I went on the regular program, he's not just talking about locally born players. Oh, I want boss a youth. If a youth want to get boss, you have to be good enough to get boss. I mean, I have no problem with people that get boss. In fact, people forget boss. But if you want to get boss, you have to be good enough to get boss. And some people not good enough to get boss. Because they've been poorly coached. And when they get boss, it doesn't work out too well. The only person get boss in the last 3 years or something, you know, a king, you know, who get boss and do something with it. Not only get boss, but get something and do something with it. And even then, he can get some good help from McLaren to go to St. Mirren. That's not disputable as a fact. And that caused enough angst in the coaching situation with certain people. But nobody want to admit it. I'm a Kranky, I make up story. Now, one could say in Speed's case also, there is a continuity issue whereby Speed has been with the squad. He knows some of the players now. I never know them before. No, can't Wayne want to say. And therefore, if he know the squad, he know the players, he's been engaging with them, then he's built up some kind of camaraderie and affiliation with them. So therefore, he should be considered. So don't disrupt the squad. Keep it going. Others would say, Speed messed up the whole thing. How can you reward failure? I will admit, I don't think you can reward failure. Especially when you are being told by in so many different quarters, if you fire McLaren, is a bad hire. But because you hire him, you don't want to fire him. And he ended up bringing you down. In fact, he brought you down. He brought you down. Now, I'll say something about the whole coaching situation. I am finally happy. I'm not going to use maverick term, but the board gets some cojones, some gumption. The board, finally happy that the board, have a pulse. Hey, board, me happy you have a pulse. Because they never have no pulse, people. The board never have no pulse. So me happy they have a pulse now. I thought they had died and gone to heaven. The board have a pulse and the board standing up and saying, you know what? Why we not know you now? Rudolph, you mess up the whole thing and you want me to support you. How that work? How that work, Rudolph? I think some people believe that Rudolph is audacious to even want to be considered for the role. People, 128 on that chat. I don't know, so I try to get some love out of this whole YouTube thing. And only we can get them love there if we hit the like button and improve the visibility of the channel, improve the algorithm, and hit the like button, man, and stop. me not the like button. Please hit the like button, everyone. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you haven't shared the channel, also please do so. And I will admit, sometimes I feel a little bit self-conscious on this channel because some people tell me they watch me. I never really want them to watch me because, sometimes I don't really behave as I probably should. And they hold me in high regards in some respects and then me mess it up. So they look at me differently. I'm not like that. So if you want people that you don't have to watch me, you don't have to watch me. Because sometimes you have to change your persona to survive in that space. All right? Now, in terms of the job, people, board of directors, because someone watch the program, no, I admit it. Someone watch it. Let me tell you something. Please don't be in a rush to source the head coaching role. I know the Nations League start after the World Cup, further on in the fall. No rush. Taking the time. This time, please lay out the criteria for the role. What are you looking? What should the person have in that role? What do they have? What should they have? And do they meet it? And then you talk to them to make sure them can explain them resume. They can explain what they should be doing. So let me give you some basic thing. I think it's important. You have to hire somebody who can work in a very difficult working environment with difficult working arrangement. Let me say that again. Which means, I use no nice term, but developing country. They're working in a third world country. But if some of the people I work with, they're not professional enough. You have to understand that. And if you don't understand that, you'll fail. You have to can manage difficult circumstances, difficult situation, and interference. Because the interference is pervasive. So you have to can manage people who try to pull you in different ways to satisfy their own objective. You have to be a negotiator. You have to be nimble and flexible to navigate them deep waters. Okay, you get eaten by sharks, Hargrams get eaten by sharks and left. McLaren get chewed down. Tapper survive. Because sometimes there's about bones of a tapper and tapper not push back hard enough and just probably acquiesce. You have to be strong for acquiesce. You have to be independent. You can't take no side because it don't work. That's very important. For the JFF or the board, you need somebody who will not say them in the contract, they have to live at Jamaica for a certain period of time. That's a 24/7, And it's a fireable offense and terminating offense if they don't live at the island for a certain period of time. No waffle, no vacillate. If they don't do it, them gone. You have to make sure it's one of the criteria, the main criteria for employment. And the reason why is this. We have to develop a football identity, a style and system of play. We have to. It's about time. I need somebody who can provide guidance to the technical director, who can help to guide the football philosophy of the country and what direction we should go in, and be able to show how it's done in a football environment, not just in the classroom. Go out there and walk people through what needs to be done to get there. The person also has to be somebody who can educate people, not just on the football field, but also think about the mental aspect of the game and find ways to communicate that information to players so they can digest it. Rudolph said something the other day, people have enough people ahead. Rudolph said something the other day, have enough people ahead. I never bring it up, because I never want to go down the road there. But I bring it up in a very nice way. Rudolph was trying to tell us that some players digest information much slower than other players. He used euphemism by saying some people learn differently and some people just take it at face value. He was trying to explain something about some player and about some other players and certain things. He basically said some people, I mean, I say them dunce, but him said they don't grasp information a certain way. So therefore, you have to find different methods if you communicate information to them so they can digest it. And sometimes you have to tell them 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But I never know Rudolph had them not him for use for camouflage. I must say, what should I get the message across? So Rudolph, that was a halfway decent job. You should have done that throughout the entirety of the process. But you go direct with some people. The person must have a pro license. I'm sorry, we don't want an A license. They must have a pro license, people. I don't know, can't get a pro license either. Well, I'm not going to say no can't pro license. I shouldn't say that. But they have a pro license, people. Preferably like UFA pro license. But they have a pro license. Or if they're not pro license, they might have international experience. Both would be really, really good. The person has to be a man manager. You have diaspora player, you have local player, them grow up in a different environment, they have different temperament, they engage differently. Some are used to coming through a structure where they're educated mentally and physically. Some are just physical education, and you have got to adapt to them because them mentally not there. You don't think them there. Some want to stay out all night. If you have to deal with that discipline thing, if you have somebody who have the temperament and who have the perspective and has dealt in this difficult environment, because you want them successful, they have to be able to handle strong personalities, really strong personalities. They have to be very, very technical. They have to know the football in and out and can communicate in a football forum, football environment, football ecosystem. Let me tell this person, so people say me I'm the channel. Come on, to give him know that. I don't want him come on me. I'm embarrass him. Give me 1 second, people, and then his number crash off. Before it crash out, people. I'm texting by me on the phone. I don't know. And you know what? My phone crashed, actually. What the hell happened? Give me 1 second, people. Let me just reply to the person. So we're talking about the requirement. This is mainly about fit, not familiarity. Because what JFF going with now is familiarity. We try to get familiar. Want a coach to be familiar with Jamaica and how Jamaica operate. Not a coach who fit what we're trying to achieve. Not a coach who have the resume that we say, you know what? And look on the resume, yeah, man. Let me do the interview and talk to him and dig deep and dig in to find out if what the resume says is actuality. Is actually something that, yes, we can leverage, we can use, and can help us. And also, it has to fit financially. That's very important, actually. We can't afford to pay nobody now $500,000 a year or $400,000 a year. We can't afford it. We also can't expect to pay nobody $100,000 a year because that's not international football. That's joke thing that. A monkey money that for international football, international coach. $100,000 a year can't buy a peanut. Well, it can buy a peanut, but it can't buy nothing else. That can't nobody. After taxes, you don't make no money. So if you want to get the government to supplement the man's income, do it so. But you get what you pay for in life, people. If you go cheap, you get cheap coach. Cheap coach, cheap outcome. Bad outcome, I should say. So let's not do that, people. Let's not do that. Bless up, Prestine. How you doing? So let the coach. Which coach you talking about? Chorus. Yeah, but that's a little bit different, right? The requirement of Jamaica coach is different from the requirement of Brazilian coach. Brazil don't need nobody to teach them how to play football. We're conflating two things. A Brazilian, you don't need our colony if you go do, because our Brazil main players play overseas. That's what they do. My national coach has to have a larger portfolio than just coaching national team. Plus, colony people go overseas to Brazil play because they have tons of players overseas. We don't, them in all over Europe. We don't have that. We have players playing mainly in England and some younger ones in the US. I mean, 1 or 2 in Holland, someplace. So we don't need to go all over Europe. It's a different requirement for the Jamaica coach than we have for our Brazil coach. Carlos' main objective needs to be how he manage the Brazilian FA and how he manage how he select him team because enough players he have to select from. Can he select the right mix of team and a balanced squad? Balance in terms of abilities and what he needs to play in a World Cup. Jamaica don't have them problem. Jamaica problem is they need to get enough talent and then blend that talent. So I think it's a little bit different if we're going to talk about Ancelotti versus a Jamaica coach. I think you need the best person, best candidate should be selected, not because they're born locally. There are some coaches who probably are Jamaican national that don't live in Jamaica who could fit the role, right? the thing I find interesting is because Coley grew up in Jamaica environment, he coached at Jamaica College, and he's known there, and he's made the trip overseas that automatically he's the only person at pro license that come through that system, he should get the job. So almost like a default. Now, I know the technical job is direct football, but what you're missing, Chris, is that Jamaica needs somebody who has international experience as a coach who can help them. Algrimson was doing that, you know. Algrimson was doing that. You're the coach. I know Algrimson was doing this. They need the Jamaica technical director is a kid. Andrew Peart is a kid in football. Andrew Peart not on a resume for the technical director. I like Andrew Peart. I think he talks well, but he's not on a resume. He's not on a practical resume for the technical director. He needs somebody who will give him information, who will help him. I think we're looking at the traditional roles that's played in traditional football environment, and we're trying to equate that to Jamaica. It doesn't really work. You need a hybrid. It doesn't fit any given mold or role. It's a hybrid, meaning it's flexible. It's not fit into a given box. Technical director does A, B, C, and coach. No. You need a coach who can help you develop football at the same time, go and get the national team where it needs to be. We also need the JFF to work with the coach and stop interfering with the coach. And to help the coach recruit players, source players, and make sure the logistics work really well so we don't have no issues with the players. They just play football. Escher says, Mr. Speed says he has never applied for a job in his life. The JFF now says all candidates must apply for the head coaching job. Will Speed apply or lie? The JFF or lie? Well, if he gets a job, that means... the president did say in that article at the Times, in the Gleaner, that Speed needs to apply like everybody else. So in the first time in his 64 years of living, would Speed have to apply for a job if he wanted? Unless he recused himself from participating in the coaching process. Now, the question you're asking is this a farce? Is this a fake where people are saying we're going to pretend as if we went through a real search and we reside or we get back to the same place where we started, which he gets the job? Or is it really be a thorough search, go through a thorough, informed, well-defined interview process to arrive at the ultimate candidate for the role? That's the question. Christian said, Kranky Algrimson said when he should be focused on the team, he had to be doing camps and he was going to use those players locally to go to what? Go watch that interview, Kranky. I understand that, but he was doing it. He was doing it. RB Games said, Coach Saudi players versus Jamaica players in two different kettle of tea. Saudi nation are strict and you have to live by their rules. Yeah. I'm not sure what that's about. DJ Exquisite says Jamaica football needs to let coaches that are qualified do their jobs and not interfere and get the football. You know the worst thing about Jamaica football is coaches will come, they will interfere, and then they'll protest vehemently that they didn't interfere. I'll drink some water, tell them to hit the like button. Then you get to 100 people. Me drink some water and hit the like button. Get to 100. Please. I beg today. Please get me to 120. I'm going to take some, because you know you talk, you won't get dry. I'll drink some water first. Keep me, I watch, it likes them now, I'm moving up people. We have 147 people in the chat and we have 94 likes. That's not good, people. It should be a 1 for 1. It should equate to 1 for 1. No, I was talking to somebody once and they were telling me something. And while they're talking to me, I'm like, you interfere. The person said something and I laughed. I was like, you interfere. But I didn't say that to them because they were trying to explain a situation to me. And I realized the person interfered. They were interfering. And they know them. The interference is it's almost like innate. It's almost like it's innate to the process. It's part of the process. So, I know interference, me just involved in it. That me do. Even though it's not part of your role. The JFF interfere. There's no doubt in my mind they interfere. In every single coach who come to Jamaica. Every single coach. Especially people like Tapper, where them feel them comfortable and them familiar. And they probably lack respect sometimes. They interfere. Yes. Yeah, Chris, but it's a different role, Chris. I'm trying to explain that, Chris. You're not listening, Chris. It's a different role, Chris. It's a different role. It's a different role. You have to multitask. You have to multitask. Jamaica needs more than Mexico. We can't, hear that, Chris, which I get frustrated with you guys. Yeah, use Mexico, Canada, and USA as your example. How are you going to do that? Industrialized countries, tons of resources, well-defined model, well-defined playing style. That's not an example. Come on, Chris, do better. Algrimson can't deal with third world country. That's why I'm leave. And how third world country operate. If you go African country, I see same thing what Jamaica do. Same thing. Same exact thing. Let me some of them even worse. But I am pleased that Jamaica is going to do a thorough search. Well, I am pleased their suggestion. We're not going to do a thorough search. They're going to do a search, some kind of search. Right? I am very pleased that that's happening because it's very important, people. Just think about it. You have a company, you have a job open, and they will give it to a man. And here's the thing: sometimes company will hire you in a role because your resume suggests, you know what? We have an interview, but it's not ready. I've been to a couple of jobs, people. I brag, where it was not an interview. Somebody just want to talk to you. They know you from before. They know your reputation. They bring you in. And they might interview you. I know they want. I'm going to give you an example. One time I go for a job, right? I think the last job I have, actually. And I interviewed with about 5 people. And after I got the job, say about a year into the job, the person who was my so-called boss, when I say so-called, was my boss, him said to me, one of the guys, very senior person, who ran the business was going to cover, didn't want to hire me because of some of the questions I asked and some of the things I said in the interview. You know, say people have to, you can't just be, when I go into my interview, when I know me I go work, me have to ask a certain question. But he said he hired me anyway because he wanted me in the role. So sometimes people will override people, not really override, but then bring you in for interview, but your perspective don't really matter. That happened to me too as a boss, where I interview somebody, no matter what I say, they more hire the person anyway. Because then the person has the skill set and the seniority and the role to assume the job, right? That happens sometimes. This is a different setup. We don't have anybody in Jamaica who has a resume like a Zidane or Ancelotti or a Marino or a Pep or a Ferguson or a Enrique. If you say, you know what, give him a resume. Like how Pep hire Pep Guardiola, like how Man City hire Pep. Pep not have to interview. Pep resume speak for itself. Who do we have in Jamaica who coach international football whose resume speak for himself? You think Brazil interview Ancelotti? Them say, Ancelotti, we have the job. You want a job? Come talk to me. There are some things we think. They're not really interview. It's a cursory interview. But if you don't have nobody with them resume there, you have to dig deep to find somebody. You don't have nobody with that resume they can bring in. We see when PSG hire Enrique, thinks I don't big interview that. Them know what they want. When Arsenal hire Emery, that was a big interview. Them bringing about 4 or 5 people. Emery had Europa League and M-Belt, but he didn't really have the profile to say, boy, I'm a Pep, I'm a Marino, or I'm a one of them people there. No, sir. Levels matter, people. Levels matter. Levels matter. And if you have the right level as a coach, it's not much of you probably interview the organization first and interview you. And that's across all disciplines in life. Scientists, teachers, lawyers, doctors, same way. But if you don't have that kind of resume to say, you know what, your experience, what you have done, speak for itself, then you have to have a conversation. An in-depth conversation. You have to get the best candidate. And right now, we don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that in Jamaica right now. Mark Land says, Kranky, the hiring of Peter as technical director speaks volume. That's an indication that they intend to hire a local coach. Yes, they had it all set up. It was all inwards. It was going to be an in-house thing. All the people them were friend, part of the same thing, Old Boys Network, just take the football for Papi Show and just hire people them who them know. But now I says, Peter may not have ability and potential now. But Peter now have no resume as technical director if he assume the role. Now, he speaks well, and he's been to class, but what has he done that allow him to just assume the role? I know that the coaches in Jamaica going to school. It's almost like people here go, even if you go Harvard, you go Yale, you go LSC, or you go Oxford, you go Cambridge, whatever it is. When you come out of school, you're not right away you get the biggest job ever. You have to get blood in first. And some of them people don't want them feel coaching in Jamaica, which they do not when they leave Jamaica, is the basis to assume those roles. And I'll ask Jamaica coaches this. How many local players have matriculated to a significant level outside Jamaica in the last, say, 5 years, for example? Because if you're that good as coaches, you should have a conveyor belt of talent that's matriculating from Jamaica someplace else. Right? Someplace else. And we don't really see that, actually. We see 1 or 2 players trickle here and there. We're not seeing a conveyor belt of players coming through the pipeline. So is the coaching that good? Or are we saying the players don't learn well? Which one is it? Yeah, experience is critical. I have this argument with a friend of mine continually because he believes, I'm going to extrapolate what he's saying. He believes that coaching badges sometimes are overrated. Right? He believes it's about experience, but sometimes experience is bad. You can have bad experience. You learn the same thing from people before you, and then they know what they were doing. Experience coupled with classroom learnings give you a better chance of success. So, art of love. I must mess it up. I'm not pronouncing my age. Heart of Love says, Kranky delay tactics. They already choose who they want. Well, I think they did, and they are now recoiling. No, I think they did choose it before. I think when they start hearing the information from the public environment, them start reconsider. That's my view anyway. I think they initially picked their coach and say, you know what, Prezi, we agree with you. Cost enough money for your new coach. We know a road off. We know let have the money when the money comes, so we get to share up the money and support our parishes. And I do like Dennis Strong, I hold back the money. And I want to give you the money. I thought about if we were prudent financially. so we'll select him. But then some of them probably think that after them start hear all these things, say, you know what? If we're really looking at our mirror right now, we lose $12.5 million. All right? 2.5 preparation fee, got increase it from 1.5, and $9 to $10 million just to arrive at the tournament. And we're not getting nothing. So we'll find somebody to blame. Prudent or frugal? I'm not sure we're talking about brain drain. Must be talking to somebody else. We never said no, prudent or frugal. Bless up New Wave Entertainment. Thanks for joining. And brain drain. See, people, brain drain become a member, you know, people. And brain drain only become a member, a program that he how would I say brain drain? You explain. Explain. Because you're different. You explain. Even when I see you on my channel too much brain drain, I wonder why you're staying away. And brain drain, I haven't heard where you come out on, I don't know. What side you come out on? Are you supporting the JFF? Or you think that they should find, not support the JFF, do you believe the board should do a thorough search for a candidate to assume the role of head coach? Or you believe Rudolph Speed should assume that role, given that its longevity is a continuity from the playoffs, and also that he's a known commodity? I am not sure where JFF get off. People like Roy Simpson get off. I mean, I stop eating Roy Simpson, you know. I'm vexed with what I'm saying. Talking about if we go more local. I'm gonna paraphrase what he says. Go local versus going foreign. When the JFF has always been local. So Brain Drain says, I support speed so that butter will never grow. Why do you go come with some cute comment, Brain Drain? Why we know you come with a cute comment? Ah, boy. Yeah, I just find it hard to say Speed should be the head coach when he orchestrated the World Cup campaign and therefore he owns it. I don't think the blame should be evenly divided between the coach, JFF, and the players. I think Speed about 70% and can divide up 10, 15 to the other two group. And you may ask why. He picked the coach. He never helped recruit players. And then when he fired the coach, he not fired the coach. He was a technical advisor too. His hands are everywhere. He have a chance to fire the coach and not fire the coach. He won it. That's how we're going to go World Cup. And when he had a chance to change things, him go something there. Him go playoffs and I play people who now play well. For him make the tough decision and take the beating afterwards, him left out one player where everybody won 19, and for him just bite him tongue and say call the player, because he have a chance to call him later and drop one of the local man in my team, because then he go get nice squad anyway. He never do it. So he now appease them, and then he make it worse. He make some bad decisions in that game. And all decisions weren't because people cramp up. Some of the decisions were just bad decisions. I'm afraid to take off certain people. Mr. Griffith says, hey, Kranky, do you think all the players that will select for the Unity Cup should be English-based? No. I actually think what they should do is this. We have heard about, what's his name, Merrick? We have heard about Ellis. We've heard about a few players who people believe, like Fuller, are on the threshold of the national team. They're on the periphery, but they're not gravitating towards it. You should bring them and give them game time. I also think we should bring some players who aspire to play for Jamaica. Unless the Unity Cup require you to convert. I know the last time they had it, they wanted to sign something, so you're going to convert to Jamaica if you didn't change your allegiance yet. So they should mandate that. That shouldn't be a requirement in my eyes. Because some people don't want to come off a fence. But they should try to bring in some players. Like, for example, when I try to convince Jonathan Rowe to come play, so you don't have to change allegiance, Jonathan Rowe, but come play my youth. You're bringing him in and try to influence him to change. We're going to talk to Greenwood, because I'm not going to do it. And there are other players out there. Keenan Davis. Hey, Keenan, we work on your papers. Come play. Keenan Davis, Jonathan Rowe, the youth from Juventus. Just bring them in. Bring in about 5 or 6 of them who haven't changed their allegiance yet. Kadamarti brother. Bring them in and say about, you know what, you're part of the squad. You may not play every game, you have to play a minute, but you're part of the squad. Bless up, Gunners. How you doing, Gunners? Bless up. You should bring them in and couple them with some of the players who, if Low one can play, you bring him come play. Blake Nanga come play. You bring some other players you may want to bring. What's her left back name? Name has slipped me now. You want to bring a few more. You have to bring some local players in that squad. And you have to bring some local players who play overseas. And you have to bring some English players who play in England. You have to bring some English players who can be naturalized, who have that, like a Tyreek Mitchell, Keenan Davis, Jonathan Rowe. Who else can I bring? We want to bring people who are quality players. When I want to bring people safe. And maybe 1 or 2 who you may try to convince to come play. But that's what we'll do. Even if 1 or 2 of them want to use it for England. Because if England will select them, that means they're not going to select them. We bring them. We're trying to get the best players, but also players who want to come play. Pastor said the players get 5% of the blame. The xenophobic fans get 30%. Speed gets 65%. So get the administration no blame. Get the coach no blame. Really? Boy, you're all over the place. You're all over the place, Pastor. Really, Pastor? Get the coach no blame. Get the administration no blame. Me think the administration and Speed get about 70%. Me think the coach get about 15%. And I think the players get about 15%. Probably should I go? Toughy Rudy says, I think you should get the best available players under the age of 25, no matter where they are from. Well, I think Johnson, who plays in the Dutch league, is supposed to be coming. So people like Tyrese should be part of there. Jeremy, what's his name? Janier Johnson should be there. My understanding is that he wants to play for Jamaica. Max Aaron should come. Max, I work on him papers. Keenan Davis should come. I know they were discussing him. No, those players should come. Not all of them have to be under 25. They should come. And then we can pick from there. People, the JFF need money now. And they need something to feel good about. And we need to feel good as football players. We need to do well in the Nations League. And we need to do well in next year Gold Cup. But you're right about that tough Rudy in the concept and the idea of that 2030 is an objective about World Cup. It's going to be tougher to go to the World Cup. If you get under 25 players, will be less than 30 by next World Cup. cycle campaign, which starts in about what? A year time or a year and a half time. Rico and Ricky can come, but we don't have to see Rico. We don't have to see Rico. Rico there already. Rico are lucky. We're not lucky. We need people who are not lucky yet. We don't need to see Rico. We don't need to see Rico. We don't need to see Bobby Reed. We don't need to see Palmer. No, sir. I know some people want to win and feel good, but no, me, I look new talent. Russell, them, they don't have to come. No, sir. And as usual, Paul Edwards supporting the JFF. We give JFF 20%. The coach never select himself. The JFF did. Some of the players never select themselves. The JFF get them papers. I don't get them papers. In any organization, if you're the CEO or chairman of an organization, you shoulder most of the blame. No matter if somebody under you execute in a poor way. That's how it works. If US lose the Iran war, who don't blame? The people that put up on the ground do the fighting, and they blame the president, and they blame exit. I blame the people who run the things. So life go. You can't blame the foot soldier them. You blame the people who command the foot soldier them. So it works. So in terms of the coaching, come here, finish the channel, the show soon, people. I forgot to watch the next play. I believe that the board is doing the right thing, right? At least on the surface. What it seems to be that they're saying is that they're going to go through a process of getting candidates, getting the best candidate for the role, which includes going out or leaving the process open. I don't think they're going out anywhere. Generate interest in the role, get people to apply for the role, go through the interview process, and select the best candidate. And you ask yourself the question, did they do that the first time around? Because most people I know didn't really challenge the recruitment of Hallgrimsson. Right? They may have frustrated with Hallgrimsson about he played defensive versus offensive. They may have been frustrated after the Copa, how poorly we did in Copa. Even though Hallgrimsson probably was gone by then. Because he was hired in March by Ireland and Copa was in the summer. But they were not having McLaren. They were not having McLaren at all. They were not having McLaren, not at all. And the JFF still hired him. And even when he was doing poorly as one can do, he was still maintaining the role. Now, how in God's name do you want to get the role when you are the person who was responsible for all of this? And then the worst part of all of this, people, the JFF had the gall to come in the public domain, supported by local media, to justify why they should maintain the status quo and why both the administration and the coaching staff should remain in their seat. When we see example of a number of countries, including Italy, where everybody get fired. And I fire one or two people. If they say you should make World Cup, everybody get fired. And their thing is that, well, it's 200 and something countries who are part of FIFA. Only 48 make the World Cup. So do you fire everybody else? And nobody in the traditional media were putting a counter argument as to that's a bunch of crock. First of all, of the countries that are in the World Cup, most of them don't expect to go to the World Cup. They don't have the ability. They don't have the resources. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the know-how to get to the World Cup. If you're a country like Nigeria and Jamaica, where Nigeria had the talent, Jamaica had both the talent and the opportunity, being an easy zone, and not get it. And if you want, we don't have no Italy, because Italy had different resources, different football nation, they have one World Cup. We use close comparative in our assessment, not use it like something far-fetched. So how you can justify and say that you have been the best administration in Jamaica football history by far, and when I did my assessment and my research and went through the entirety of it, which I've presented more than once, it fell short. And a couple of the things that informs that. So yes, the under 17 made the World Cup. But the administration has been in power since 2017, September 2017 to now. So it's almost 9 years. They have made one under 17 World Cup, even though FIFA has watered down the World Cup. So before FIFA had much smaller number of teams, they expanded the number of teams. So you really don't have to play one round of games like we just did a while ago. You don't have to beat Canada to go to the World Cup. Right? They have never gone to under 20 World Cup in their tenure. They've gone to 2 Women's World Cup. But some people say it's despite them, not because of them. Because they want to lock down women's football. And it was Cedella Marley should get the support. I believe everybody gets support. If you distribute blame everywhere, they have to get some support. So let's give them support for the Women's World Cup, even though we know them at war. The men's team has made 2 World Cup. They came in 2017, so you can't talk about the 2018 World Cup. But the 2022 and 2026, them own that. Even though 2022 we gave them some leeway because of COVID, them own that. Jamaica was ranked 59th when they came in. Jamaica ranked between 70 and 71. Jamaica missed a ton of World Cup for under 20. We get 15 love. Talk about it a million times. Under 17 should have made the World Cup last year. Didn't make the World Cup last year. What happened to the women's under 17, under 20 team? Have they ever gone anywhere? And if it wasn't for diaspora players, we wouldn't have a women's team. Because Bunny and Brown can't do it by themselves. And what's your name there? Play midfield, them can't do it by themselves. Can't do it by themselves. So this notion, this idea that we've been the most successful. And frankly, if you talk about success, people, it's like saying, much everything about the analogy would really, really work. Because Jamaica has been to 1 World Cup. And actually won a game at the World Cup when we beat Japan 3-1. So administration never taken us to a senior World Cup. And senior World Cup is 90% of your program, you know. It's like you go into a crescendo, that's the crescendo if you go World Cup with a senior team. Mainly men, because the men get played 10 times as much as the women. The women get 1 million the last World Cup, the men get 10 million plus preparation fee, now 2.5 million. Right? So you can't say that you've been the most successful when it can't stand up to scrutiny. And I've always said this, if you want to put something on the public, put something out in public and see how great it is, then let people challenge it. And then if they have healthy skepticism, let them challenge it and then see if it stands up to scrutiny. And it couldn't. And the problem I have is, I've said this numerous times, keep repeating myself, that traditional media is part of the problem because they do nothing to challenge these individuals in the public when they interview them or when they talk to them or when they write about this situation. Nothing to challenge them. All they do is just regurgitate stuff. The president said this, the president says that, that's what's happening. There is no opinion page, no opinion piece that challenges some of these perspective, assumptions, views, or things that have occurred. None. And the one person who made idea start hit out against Rudolph is Maverick, who before was just co-opted like everybody else. I don't know what happened. I don't know what him fall out with. I don't know why him and Rudolph has. But all of a sudden him start get some, you know what. And before, he never said nothing. Nothing. Just a play along with it. So at the end of the day, people, all I say is this, is that I am glad the board is now revisiting or rethinking the approach to selection. Trudy Carter, yes. Selection of a coach for the national team. Good evening or good night.
Greetings, Kranky.
Greetings, sir. What do you have to say?
Yeah. So first of all, the Maverick, I didn't really call to talk about that, but since you mentioned it, the Maverick basically start to show that Speed the bad face, because Speed went on a rival channel of his and said that he and him is no friend.
I thought he got some balls.
Say that again?
I thought he got some balls. Yes, and the balls him get that we can get this.
Yeah, because him get this.
Him get this, okay.
If you listen to Maverick, you know, he's very you call him topical, and you're really right, because he's very shallow, you know.
Yeah, I'm shallow.
If you hear some of the things that even when in challenge his rival at the other station, it's very childish, you know, for big man. So you know, I used to have a lot more respect for him. I don't anymore. Not that I don't have any respect for him. I still watch his channel and, I listen to his program every day. But just like you say, he will just run off his mouth. Even I was appalled, that day when he mentioned the person on a Facebook while he's doing his program. And that's another thing I don't understand. Both channels do it, but Maverick is really notorious for it. He will, in the middle of a conversation with a caller, he's looking at a text that some random person sent and reading it. And instead of saying, he doesn't even know if it's fact, He just runs with it and say, oh, this person sent me this. And say, well, I never know. I don't know who these men are running a credible radar program.
I will admit, I have done that. I have done that before to Maverick. I used to have his number. I deleted his number. I got pissed off with him. But I've done it before, text him more than once. When he says something stupid, me just text him and say, can I get thing that you're talking about? XYZ.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I would have done that, but I stopped doing it because I did his number. I don't listen to this program anymore. I watch his videos sometime because I like to beat him, but I don't listen to this program anymore.
Yeah, man. And that's what I'm saying. Just do some research. And so he had to apologize because he called somebody a transvestite or something like that.
Wow.
Transgender. Somebody on a Facebook that sent him something that he didn't like while this program is going on. And I'm saying to myself, all right, every time your program go on, you read in random text. If you can't call the people in name, then don't read them text. And sometimes it's not factual, erroneous stuff.
But is he purported to be factual, or are you just reading it saying this is what somebody said?
You read it and say, boy, man, send me this, but don't repeat it to the national show, brethren.
No. Sometimes the person send it to you because they want to repeat it. So it depends, right? Sometimes they want to repeat it. Because you know what? They're texting you doing the show enough, so they want to tell you something that they're opposing or they're agreeing with.
No, sometimes they'll say, boy, all right, for instance, I'm just using this as an example. Let's say somebody just texts and say, boy, Miguel Coley have a UEFA Pro license. Boy, I never know him have a pretty. Then
okay.
Right after that. And
well, that's a little bit different. You should look it up. You should look it up.
Right. And these are the things because even somebody would text him, and he said what they text him, and then right after that, if somebody else texts him and said, no, it's not so good.
No, because it's topical. It's topical. I keep telling you. It's topical. It's topical.
Exactly. So I'm not really rate him that much. You know what I mean?
But if you listen to him every day, you must rate him, man. You can't say this every day and rate him.
So when I listen, because the type of work I do, I need a distraction.
Oh, okay.
And so at that time of day, I will just plug my headset in and, just continue working and listen.
Right.
And then I listen to the other show. But anyway, I never want to really call. It's only because you mentioned him. And that's the only reason you see him stop. Because he was all for Speed,
Yeah.
And ever since Speed went on the rival, now remember, him have feelings for that.
But Speed will just go and say, Speed, he must have said something about Speed before. Because Speed just don't go blast people, in blasting because someone Speed.
I was shocked when I heard Speed say that, When I heard Speed say, me and that man is no friend. I was
something happened, man. Because the man laughed it up before that,
Something go down, man.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
And Kranky, this whole Jamaican men, I'm really disappointed because when you look at Craig Butler, you look at Speed, you look at Maverick, these are big men with big egos, but them feelings, them carry them feelings like girls, man.
Well, it comes with the territory, when you are
like a teenage girl.
Yeah. It comes with the territory.
And it's a shame,
Yeah. No, it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory.
All right. So maybe that is a good segue now into the Speed argument.
Right.
I personally, I've gotten exhausted with hiring foreign coaches, and we're not getting any results. Now, I really think we should really try this local coach, and I think that Speed and Coley is really a good choice. And I'll tell you why. Because you remember when Tapa and Paula was working together, and Tapa said, this is the kind of thing, sometimes we take things out of context. Tapa said he doesn't talk to the English players. He don't really mean it like that, But we take it and run with it.
But he said it, Peter. I'm saying it. I know we said it, I'm saying it.
But But we know some of that the man mean, bro.
We don't know that. We don't Peter. I mean, I agree with you. We don't know that. If you say Kranky, if Peter say Kranky, I'm an idiot. And we say another Peter mean. You know, what you mean? No, that's what Peter say. Me can't say that Peter mean. Me can't interpret what Peter mean about the words I'm saying.
Top around for say what I'm saying. You know, I'm wrong for that. But I believe like when you have two people, right? Different personalities, and sometimes one person is a better communicator, and you know, like in the Tapper and the Paul dynamic, Paul would have been the better communicator for the English-based players, while Tapper would have been the better communicator for the local-based players. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And so when I look at Coley and Speed now, Speed is a no-nonsense kind of guy, very much a disciplinarian, right? And you may not like him. And then Coley on the other hand is a very milder person. You know, you and I have played football under many different coaches, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
I played under Bertis Bell. I played under Mutty Scott. I played under Moody. I played different coaches. Some of them, those are the ones, the name coaches that I played under, right? And I can tell you, Bertis Bell and Mutty Scott and Mr. Moody, I can't remember Moody's first name, but he used to be a renowned referee in Jamaica. The personalities are very different, you know, brethren. You see, Bertis is like your brethren. Bertis is a man just, he might come out there and push up with you when him stop and say 10 push up. And he might do the push up, you know, same kind of thing there. While Mutty Scott now is a no-nonsense kind of guy, right? And I'm not saying they coach at the same time, you know, and this is a business house team I used to play for. And each time we had a coach, it was just different personality, right? Different type of coach. And I think it's the same thing now with Speed and Coley. I think that combination would work if both men can work together. I personally think that Speed has been made an unfair scapegoat of this field campaign. I believe that, think about it. Look at what's going on right now. People say Speed have the power and him this and him that. Yeah, he might have influence in the JFF, right? However, he does not really have the power. If he had the power, he would have been named coach already. The fact that the board is at loggerheads as to who they want as coach and all of this shows you that Speed is really the board. Is when we
So Peter, I must stop you there. So
yeah.
You know, Peter, in a lot of companies, even major corporations, the CEO, who's also part of the board, has what we call outsized influence, right? Because the CEO is such a presence and is such a personality, they dominate. And if they have performance and a work ethic to show that they're contributors, the board give them allowances. It's no different from the JFF. Rudolph had outsized influence. And part of Rudolph's influence come from he did a lot of the work, or probably most of the work. I've talked to people in the JFF. Rudolph does a lot of work in the JFF, a lot of work. And he's competent in terms of him coming from the corporate environment. So therefore, he's given outsized responsibility and outsized influence. So to the victor goes the spoils. If you do well and you win, you get all the players, you get all the acclaim, you get all the flowers. If you mess up, you got to get the pushback and the repercussions. That's life.
Yeah, but Kranky, remember, you know, even when Tapper was in charge, you know, remember Rudolph recommended that Tapper be fired long before Tapper actually got fired, and they pushed back on it. The board pushed back on it.
Yeah, they will push back sometimes.
Right.
But Rudolph hire McLaren, you know. Is that Rudolph hire McLaren, you know?
I don't.
So Rudolph may say that he recommended and the board approved, but Rudolph push it. Rudolph.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he doesn't push these things, because I remember talking to him about when he was on Manning's Man program one time. You probably was on the same program, you know, when they all used to appear. And I remember one time asking him how was he able to get Al Grimson.
Yeah.
And he explained to me that he sold him a project, you know, And that's what is attractive to coaches. Jamaica is more of a project because we have so much potential given the diaspora and players that we have. So I believe he has very strong influence, yes. But ultimately, Kranky, it still comes down to the board, right?
No, and the board has shirked their responsibility. So now they're standing up. Now they're getting some kahunas. Right now they're doing their job. You should never give somebody. Think about it, this Peter. I'm giving you a job and you have no resume outside Jamaica, so you should get the job. None. So, it's an international role. It's not a local role. You have never beaten an MLS team, for example. You never scored a goal against an MLS team. Right? You were orchestrator of the failed campaign, main orchestrator.
Scored one that I thought was unfairly chalked off, but yes.
You haven't scored a goal against a team outside the Caribbean.
Yeah, man.
Okay, if it's not official, if it's not an official goal, you didn't score.
Yeah. I mean, if it don't go,
it's like Jamaica say, like the person say, "Man, go World Cup because them trip up, the VAR overturned the thing I stayed up." We know that World Cup, so that means it don't matter.
Right.
Oh, I keep saying it's all about outcome. What is the outcome?
Yeah.
Nobody care if you're near miss. Boy, me almost score, you know. Nobody no care. No, history not gonna remember you from almost score. History remember whether you score or not.
Kranky, you know your age group. I can tell you this. I when I was in Jamaica, I never missed like an international game that Jamaica played. And when I was in Florida, I never missed an international game when Jamaica come to Florida to play, right?
So you're at Jamaica versus Brazil after 98?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I was at I don't miss no game, brother. I almost fight with another Jamaican in the stands defending. I was defending Anandalo. We were playing Bolivia in the national in somewhere in Florida. I can't remember, so long ago. And somebody was criticizing Anandalo because of the way he was he was reacting on the field, and I think he had gotten a yellow card. So I turned to the person, I said, "Have you ever played the game?" And he said, "No." And I made him get up an argument because when you see what players do to Anandalo, because those times you know the video camera, we never have VAR. The only way they could stop Anandalo was to antagonize him physically, and when he react,
which he always does.
Yeah, right. But there's only so much you can take. But my point about this, Kranky, all these years I've been watching Jamaica, the referees favor the other team. It's like what they say. They're like saying, like fortune favor the brave. If we played, all right, for instance, go to this Congo game. Remember the USA game? It was not a foul, and they call it back the Damon Low goal. Think about that. If it was the other end of the pitch, USA get that goal. This Congo
you mean the
goal,
USA against Jamaica? You're talking about in Jamaica?
Yeah.
The header.
Congo goal is the same thing. I guarantee you, if we had scored the other way, if we had scored that goal against Congo, and then look on the VAR so long, the referee would have probably looked on it and turn it back. Same thing.
No, I mean, I agree with Peter. Me think that them wanted Jamaica to go to World Cup.
Kranky, there is a bias.
Peter. FIFA wanted Jamaica to go to the World Cup. FIFA.
Listen, man. Peter. Don't be a conspiracy theory.
No, Peter. They want Jamaica. No. They want Jamaica to go to the World Cup.
They might want it, but it wasn't set up.
It's set up. Then get the easiest score. Then get the easiest zone ever in football.
No.
Hey, Suriname. Look at Suriname zone. Look at Haiti. Look at everybody's when I was zone.
No, man, but to see the draw, brethren, it's a look at the draw, Kranky. We watch it live.
Them put the ball where it's supposed to go, and then make sure they work. Okay, what someone said.
Yeah, but there is a...
Wait, the man try to make a World Cup, and even then, we mess it up.
Yeah. There's an inherent bias, when it comes on to Jamaica, because where referees are concerned. I tell you, brethren, just you have seen it. The Mexicos, the US, the Canadas, they're always going to get the benefit of it.
But we're talking about this World Cup now. But US, Canada, and Mexico in it. Then what people think about it? You think people want Curacao versus Jamaica in the World Cup? Think about it. Yeah, I did that.
Then I can bring it to this World Cup campaign. That penalty with Whisper, wasn't that a penalty?
No, it wasn't a penalty. He never touched Whisper. It looked like a penalty from the side, but when you look at it, but that's why I'm still down there. He never touched Whisper. People in chat them know that. If it wasn't, people in Jamaica would have cost 24/7. Everybody realized it wasn't a penalty. It looked like a penalty.
The goal that we scored against Curacao in Curacao.
That was a goal.
I think that was a goal.
But it would not change the outcome. We still would have lost the World Cup. We need that draw in that game.
But what I'm saying is,
yeah, but that referee just people make mistake. People make mistake.
We don't know, you know. We don't know when the momentum swing if we would have gotten a second goal, you know, and that game end up in a tie.
That was just mistake, man. That's just mistake. I mean, I call that a decision made to prevent us.
Let me put it this way, Kranky. Whenever referees are reffing a game with Jamaica, they always tend to give the benefit of the doubt, whether it's a foul or a goal, to the other team. We see it all the time.
No. Let me give you an example. Give you an example. Jamaica against Canada in Canada.
Right.
Low was, hey, someone tackle a low make a yellow card in any league, you know. Me say, somebody tackle them, you low, make him go through the man, them go win the ball. I will get no foul. That's a foul call. When I'm a yellow card, we never get that foul call. Me not go by the theory. Me not say South America. Me not say the referees from the Central America may not have a little bit of bias, but me not gonna say holistic bias. Me not gonna say that.
Even that you remember that even that same USA game where we were leading and Corey Burke scored an own goal.
Yeah.
You remember at first they put up like 5 minutes or 6 minutes or something, and then they change it, and then the game should have been done.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what, Peter? You know that game, Peter? Talk to Cephas.
Yeah, but no.
But appointment, talk to Cephas. Him get one-on-one with the keeper. Me not blame Cephas and people. Me say him get one-on-one with the keeper, put the game away, right? And then Berg thing was probably a bad change the coach made because Berg to me wasn't fit for the on the field. Meaning not a player enough, but he wasn't fit enough. Can I talk to Berg enough? Berg just came off a horrendous injury. And he want to play for the national team. But you can't blame Berg for a buck up goal. I not blame Berg. I not blame nobody for it. I was at the game.
Right.
It was the worst feeling ever. But we you know what? It wasn't meant to be. As somebody said again, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
Times, Kranky, I guarantee you, if US was leading one, that game they blow off long time, brethren.
But that's a home field advantage work. That's a home field advantage work. You have to live with it.
Yeah, but we were.
Today, Man City game played for 9 minutes. Man City game played for about 9 minutes. After Everton a lead 3-2, right? And then Doku score late. Right? But they will tell you that they add on time for substitution and they add on time for other things. About 9 minutes extra time. So I go.
Let's move on to another point. Because now that you bring up the Man City thing, I don't watch a lot of club football, but I do look at the scores and I do follow follow who's leading and Arsenal leading, likely to win, all that stuff. Right? And sometimes I watch the highlights. But you watch the game today, right? You watch that game today?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, when I look on the stats, I saw Man City has 75% and Everton 25%. Now, in your opinion, Kranky, without even knowing those stats, you watch the game, based on the eye test, you have a coach named Pep Guardiola, right? Who everybody think is God. And these players had 75% possession. You tell me now, who you blame for them losing this game? You blame Pep or you blame, and remember now, I don't watch the game. I'm just asking you a question. Or you blame the players?
I blame the players.
There you go.
And I blame the players for the reason because Mark Gay give away a goal. Pep can't pass the ball, but they keep a fear.
There you go.
Right?
So
the second ball was an offside. I mean, the first ball when he gave the goal the second ball was a ricochet. Wasn't meant to happen. No, the second goal was a header, where them things that happen in football with set pieces, and everything good at it, but you have to mark people. And then the third goal was just a lucky thing. So you can't blame Pep for that. You guys are big players because in the first half they should put the game away.
So all right. So this is my next point now. Bringing it back to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
The game is played on the pitch. Now I understand that we sometimes don't have the best administration. I understand that players sometimes are inconvenienced with flights and all of that and whatever. Someone want room to themselves. I understand all of that. But Kranky, at the end of the day, when you go on the pitch, regardless of all of that, you get the job done. I cannot blame the administration or the coach for the players not scoring sitters in that last Curacao game, not hitting the post 3 times, right? One of them ballers should have been on target. I cannot blame Andre Blake for standing up in that first Curacao game. In fact, the man who kicked that ball, there was no player in the Curacao game in Curacao. There was the first goal. There was no player on that player that kicked the ball to Andre. And obviously he didn't move because he was unsighted and couldn't see the ball or something. But I cannot blame coach or administration for players not doing their role on the field. I blame these players for not qualifying because this, like you say, is a super group. And regardless, you yourself said it in spite of the coach, right?
I qualified my statement. My statement was made with the view we were going to get about 3 players in. They didn't come in. It was 5, only 2 come in. Because I know if we can get them in, we'll be struggling at right back, struggle in the midfield, struggle up front, which is what happened.
Kranky,
yes.
We still should have gotten the job.
No, but you're saying it is the players almost exclusively, not the coach and administration. No, wait. But Peter.
But I think
who get fired more, coach or players? Who get fired more, coach or players?
We know that. We know the coaches. But I think it's unfair. That's what I'm saying.
It's not unfair.
Hey, listen. You know this ghost that I am by hearing that players went out the night before. You know that.
They go the night before. They go the night afterwards. That was the night afterwards. A night afterwards, man. Afterwards. Some player broke curfew and come to the hotel. When they want to come in, just not only the ones who come from Jamaica, but there are players who 3 players who went out, I think, subsequent to the game after a blow-off steam in Boston. So, yeah.
So it wasn't the night before?
Not what I understand in terms of the 3 players with the Go-Go Club or whatever.
All right. No, I did hear that one was prior to the training the day before. Okay. And I don't want to call the player name. But what I'm saying, Kranky, I played Major League, and I never, you know that when we play ball back then, nobody get anything for play. You just play for your community, right? And I'm telling you, I used to have games at 3:30 on a Sunday. And I came from an era, I can't say the era, Rallington Town. Rallington Town was a party hub. And we had a resident sound system that every Saturday night, if they're not playing out somewhere, they have a party at their headquarters, right? On Rallington Town. And it was the nicest party you could ever attend. You know that when I have a game Sunday, I don't even go to those sessions. And I wasn't playing for anything. It disgusts me that these players take this thing so lightly, brethren.
But Peter, here's what I failed to hear from you.
I cannot forgive them, especially the ones that go out. And you come in a stadium and say 40,000 sea of red. People are sitting on a wall, or women are jump fence. And you tell me, here some people are talking about players need motivation. What kind of more motivation you need for with? All you need to do, hey, the night before, or 2 days before, Pepe Goodison, and I don't know if you saw that clip with Pepe Goodison and Usain Bolt talking to the players. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it, but I know something took place. Yeah,
I should have sent it to you. You know what Goodison said? Goodison is not a man who talk a lot, Bolt was doing a lot of the talking, and Goodison speak after him. And you know what Goodison said? Brethren, just keep a clean sheet and we should be okay. He said, that's all I'm asking.
But we did.
We did. But that's my point.
And we weren't okay. We weren't okay.
That's my point, Kranky. You want to tell me with that crowd and that energy in the stadium.
That should not be the message. Just win the game.
You can't score 1 goal.
Yeah, but it's not just clean a clean sheet.
What Goodison,
I know what he was trying to say.
He never expected us to not score.
Yeah, well, that's a wrong message he gave them. Win the game. You can't say just not give a clean sheet because.
Pathetic, man. They are pathetic.
Yeah, but Peter, you're biased in your spin. Okay, you just have blame the players alone. You not blame the man them who pick the players. Wait, Peter, hold on, Peter. You just talk about how you can't take a break. Take a break. Drink some water, Peter. Drink some water. Drink some water, please.
Some water right here.
Yeah, drink some water. So, in any organization, people, in life, those who are decision makers are accountable for outcomes Outcome mean what the results are. In Jamaica Football, the Federation select the coach, source the players, provide the infrastructure when you play at home, or the logistics for you to travel. They are the overseer, they're the governors, they're the executioners, they're the decision makers for your football. When you fail, like Italy did, then which Brogard hasn't done, they'll actually find some other vocation because you have failed the country. Italy is not firing all its players. It's firing the coach and the administration because they're the one responsible for the football, whether it's the development of the football or ultimately qualification for World Cup. They're the principal parties. Nobody can fire the player them. Players get fired by osmosis and naturally. You don't call them for the national team. You exchange them come in and go out. They're commodities, they're fungible, then come and go. That's a fact. The administration has been there for 9 years. We've stopped this thing about player. Most of them players are there for 9 years. Bobby Reid on there for 9, maybe close to 9 years for Bobby Reid. But Bobby John Russell, we're not John Russell on there for 9. We're not John Russell on there for 9 years. Dixon on there for 9 years. Bailey made 9 years. I not play 1 year yet. If we go through all the players, then you'll be surprised how much players come and go. Most of them are there for 9 years. So we're not the one party that's. I'm gonna finish this soon, Peter. Because I have to go. The one party that's stable, that's in place for all this time is the administration. How can we then go blame all them players and blame coach and blame referee and blame everybody else? When that one party did that 24/7 for the last 9 years, where's their blame?
This particular campaign, I'm putting the blame on the players.
And that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
The blame to me go 90. You know what? Me change from 70%. Yeah, me change from 70%. 90% to the administration. I feel them fault. Them select the players. Them do poor job of recruiting, poor job of naturalization, poor job with PICA, poor job with coaching identification, poor job in terms of interference, poor job in firing, poor. And if you're poor, you're gonna get poor outcome. It's not debatable.
Well, I know they say everything rise and fall with leadership. So
exactly. So how come you beat the player them?
I get what you're saying. No, but we cannot absolve these players, man.
Okay. So wait. Make a question. If the U.S. economy not do well, who do I blame?
Trump.
So if the president, you think the president control the economy the way people think them do?
Right.
There are different factors that control the economy. You can make some decisions for the economy. You not control the whole economy. You not really control interest rates in traditional sense. So the Fed do it. You not get control interest rate. You not get control interest rate as the Fed does, right? It may control tariffs and goods coming in and out. But they control individual businesses doing certain things that we have to generate economic activity. No, he doesn't. So, but him get the blame. That's how life's there. You run things, you get the blame.
All right, Kranky. I'm going to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like I said, you and I come from the same age group. Of all the World Cup campaign that you have witnessed, which one are you most disappointed with?
Say it again.
Of all the World Cup campaign that you have witnessed since 19.
This one by 100%, by 10,000%.
I tell you, bro.
I know one part to blame the administration. This one has no comparative. 98 we had, not even 98, kind of 90 we qualified 97. 97 we had to deal with Mexico, we had to deal with Canada, we had to deal with everybody, and Trinidad used to be good then too. Them Trinidad went good.
That's my point. That's why I bring it back to the players, Bridget. That's exactly why I bring it back to the players. I know we have to go, but I don't know if I want to see another foreign coach, Bridget. I think I'd be okay with Speed and Coley.
No, we go for the same coach. We go for. Well, we had a German coach before, right? Then we had 2 English coach. No, we had 1 English coach. We had a German coach. We had a Brazilian. We had a German. We had one from Denmark. We had one. we have one from. Wait. See what is a Brazilian? So we distributed with foreign coach. You know, you can't just say foreign coach. Unlike we call Alan come from England.
We had a multi-denominational. I can't barely call him on name.
He wasn't really German. Bora wasn't really, but you know, him coach at Germany. But in Bora, what's Bora from? Some Scandinavian, not Scandinavian.
It's one of Eastern Europe.
Yeah, Eastern European country he come from. Yeah. But Bora was not bad coach. It just never worked out.
Yeah.
Wait. We had Schaefer. We had Bora. We got some big coach, you know. Bora was a big coach. Schaefer was a big coach.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We had Carl Brown as coach too. We had Whitmore as coach too. So I don't like we don't have local coach.
Yeah.
We have to get the best coach given our facts and circumstances. It's not about local versus foreign. Go find a coach who fit what you look for, put them in place. If you have the money to pay them, okay, if you have the money to, money is consideration.
I was just about to say that, Kranky, because sometimes, even when Speed come on, I say, well, sometimes he would recommend. He said this before, even Al Grimson. He said that one time they recommended several coaches. He always recommend for the technical committee, and they list them in order of preference.
And he never wants him list them. You didn't find that funny? He didn't think about. He didn't talk about the preference order. So you know who him list first, right? You know who him list first.
He said he didn't remember.
He never remember. People. Rudolph Speed said he had 4 coaches for the national team when he selected McLaren, and he list them in order. He don't remember how he list them. Just like him tell us that he told look, Rudolph said some things in public. I think him hear himself, He said that Agramson left because he lost a game to Canada and Jamaica.
Yeah.
We don't know what Agramson left already. But anyway, him say something sometime. Him say a UEFA license. You have to have a UEFA license coach to coach a national team. If you have a pro license, you have a pro license, you can't coach a national team. I ain't never pro license.
Well, you have to remember, if he's looking for a coach, if JFF is looking for a foreign coach, then that's the criteria they set now, and I don't blame them. But in this case where you are hiring a local coach, then I would be okay with the local coach having an A license, because not many local coaches have, I want to say local, I mean local born, have a UEFA Pro license. Even Coley doesn't, even though people run around and say Coley have a UEFA, he has an Asian Pro license, not a UEFA.
No, I understand.
Yeah, and going back to that, Kranky, earlier you said you had a friend who said badges are overrated. I think so. Sometimes, I think when I hear Speed talk about the football, even from the days when he used to go on Management Child, Management used to have a thing called the Speed Hour of Power. The man know the football better. He know it,
Does he know it because you're impressed because you may not know as much as him? Is that why you say him know it? No, I'm not trying to put it. No, but Peter, okay, people, let me say this. If you're somebody that talks science, right? You don't understand science and say certain things, and some register with you say, blow us, I'm a smart star. And then when you go learn about it, you realize, but you just regurgitate some things about book. See what I say? So, me tell them things like grain of salt. They don't think like grain of salt.
When you look at how he won back-to-back title with a inexperienced, young,
Peter, I'll beat you. Peter, I'll beat you. Peter, I'll beat you. Peter, I'll beat you. I'll beat you. I'll leave you. I'll beat you anyway.
You don't give him credit for nothing, Bridget.
Wait. No. Hey, people. I'm not. People. Let me say this. I'm not against Speed. I'm not against Speed. Speed mess up my football, so I'm vexed. Let me say this. Let me say something to you. Two things. One is, so Speed. Hey, I don't want to beat Speed in public, but I'm going to beat him. Can you say this? So Speed coach a very young team, right?
Right.
Did you enjoy how they play football?
I didn't watch, I don't really watch the JPL.
So, when somebody said them take a young team and win, your first view is going to be, he must have molded them a certain way to allow him to be successful. Now, his pattern of football made him successful in Jamaica, which is a 10th ranked league in CONCACAF. Repeat that again, people. Jamaica rank about 6 or 7 now in CONCACAF. The league is ranked 10th in CONCACAF. Hear me I say? Peter, you think about that, people. We ranked 6th or 7th, which is not great. When we ranked after 16 rank in front of we. 5 or 16 rank in front, including Honduras nowadays, by the way. Number 80 probably should be too, but they're probably not at this point. And we have a 10th league, and our league in the world is 130 something, right? And having said that, Rudolph has won the Jamaica Premier League 2 years before Montreal, and the last time. Does Rudolph play a pattern of football? When you're a young team of people, you can mold them how you want to know. And then play you want to know. Does he play a pattern of football where you say, what? Boy, that coach a budding star. Look how them man box the ball. Look how them play ball. Them broke down team. Look how them cover spaces. Look how them penetrate. Look how them play the ball between the line. Look how them cover the gaps. Look how them play off the ball. Look how them figure out speed, or them do speed, or them function in spaces. Look how the CDM play and cover. Look how the midfielder them well. Have you ever heard anybody talk about speed football? I say, boy, or them are well coached. Wait, are you watching enough international football? They provide that. When you look at them optically and substantively, you say there's a well coached team who them footballer can go somewhere, and the footballers are well coached. Have you ever seen that? Or them kick the ball on the field and run it down and score against some other team?
Well, like I said, I don't really watch the JPL. I don't, you know,
But you
listen,
see speed against Inter, you see them play against Inter Miami.
yeah.
Can they keep the ball? Can they keep the ball? Can they keep the ball?
First game.
Well, yeah, because I'm playing against some 40-year-old man, but can they keep the ball? Who can't run? Can they keep the ball?
Yeah.
They can't keep the ball, right? Them can't keep the ball, right?
I don't even remember the second game, you know. When I say I don't remember, I remember.
Them play against Cincinnati the year before, right?
Was it the year before?
Yes. The year before them played Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Right? Them play 2 games. Then get 4 love night 2 game. Between 2 games, 4 love. But I'm just saying, were you impressed? At any point about how they play? But then how you want a man coach your national team and you can impress by him up on the field?
I was impressed because it's youngsters and you remember, you know.
But the youngsters don't have people, stop now, Peter, man. People, the most impressive footballer. We know. Before the game, coach at North Carolina, right? My back academy down there. If you watch before the game, team them play football, them keep the ball, them box the ball. No matter who them play against, them keep the ball. You can see them with coach, how they move in a space, how they move off the ball, how them recycle the ball, them keep the ball. That's coaching.
You know that I tell you, right? I tell you that I don't really watch Premier League. I don't have time, right? But I look at the stats and I look at the games, and sometimes I'll try to watch if a Jamaican is playing, like Pinnock or Bailey, you know, but I don't really get the time. And sometimes I'll watch highlights. Do you know that a lot of times when I look at stats, now I'm virgin that me and him talk football, a lot of times, and I will send him screenshots of possession, you know, like even today, you know, 75 versus 25 and you lose 3-2. Possession is overrated in the football.
No, it's not. You
don't think so?
No, it's not. If Man City took them charge in the first half, the game would have been over. Sometimes we miss that, actually. Sometimes these are good football players playing on both sides of the ball. If you don't take a chance, you know, like Everton broke down Man City and scoring. Man City make mistake and it start compound itself. And in any sport, people, if you play well and you make a mistake and the man score again, you start getting nervous. You can't play a regular game anymore. You start press. And what happens is you lose all form of how you're supposed to be playing. That's what happens in any sport, including football. Man City is supposed to win the game today. Everton Ndiaye got about 2 easy chances himself put away. But Man City was too much upfield a lot of times. So then this counter-attack is there. Didn't take their chances. And in English football, it happens. A team play compact and play a low block or mid block. You are open because you try penetrate so much. You get them score, you get nervous, and it compounds itself. Man City will win the game today. In terms of, at least from the first half. Second half is a different story. The point is this. I don't think, then if you're saying possession is overrated, then world football is overrated. Because most team today want to play possession football. Now, PSG possession football may be different from Bayern Munich, may be different from Arsenal, because they play transition football really, really well, and they want to score as quickly as possible, but they're not hitting on 40-yard pass unless the pass is there. They might play from defender to midfield, out wide, up the field, cross, goal. Or they might isolate Dembele 1-2 or 1-2 isolation for Dembele, or 1-on-1, and get him and do it in behind. What name? Australia, what name? Get them in behind, because they have skillful forward. You have diminutive midfielders who will get to the ball as quickly as possible, and you're gone. Right? Yeah. Jamaica need to learn how to play football. That's why we can't get these players to move overseas. They haven't learned the game the right way to play in a manner that people can say, you know what, no man, they're a baller. That's how I kill Jamaica, you know. People don't understand that they kill Jamaica, you know. The coaching is killing Jamaica. Killing Jamaica.
You know that the pitches too are not helping us. You know,
no, man, stop talking about the pitch, man. Yeah. Peter. If people on the world stage, athletically, physically, DNA-wise, Jamaica can compete with any country. Now, the football is not that fast as people say it is, but it can compete in terms of physicality with any country. It's the technical ability and the mental acuity that's killing us.
Yeah, but you remember Al Grimson said? He said when driving to a football game, he passed these immaculate golf courses.
I know.
And then in that same breath, he said, if Messi comes to Jamaica, he would be an ordinary player based on the pitches. You know what?
I agree with him.
Al Grimson said that the players in Jamaica have to take more than one touch, and they have to stop and look at the ball based on the pitch that they're playing on. And this is what is unbugging us big time. I think it's one of the main factors why we're not even selling midfielders. We can't produce midfielders to go overseas. We produce the wingers, like you said, because we're fast and we have the physicality and we get defenders over there. But we cannot produce good midfielders. And it's a shame.
I think
it comes back to the
the position that requires coaching more than any position is in the midfield. Defender can be big, strong, and fast and physical. Forward can be skillful, fast, and physical. Midfield is about this as much as the technical ability. We're not producing them because they're not being coached the right way.
I know you have to go, so I want to end with this. I think Leon Bailey is a low IQ baller. I think he could be a much better player, especially now that he has lost a step or two. If he thinks the game more, he would be so much of a better player. Even in that Congo game where he lost position 30 times out of 58, I think is what you said. There are times when he might try to beat two man and spin around and try to beat the same two man.
Well, you know what's funny about that? I'm gonna close with that. You know what's funny about that? I was watching some tape of Bailey more recently. Then he was much quicker and much trickier, and it used to work, right? And the defenders he played against, in some instances, weren't as adept at defending as some of these defenders that he's facing now. Right. So therefore, he used to get away with those things. Some of it just because of his ability, some because of who he was playing against. The Premier League is a different animal than any other league. And it showed up a lot of people who moved to the Premier League. Physicality, hard running. You got to play both ways. You got to make quicker decisions because you don't get any time on the ball. And sometimes you need more time on the ball to make decisions. Now, in Bailey's case, I think he has regressed because even when he comes to this part of the region, in game is just the way it is at Aston Villa nowadays. In fact, Aston Villa people made 7 changes the other day and Bailey was in the starting lineup. You only get about 5 minutes. So he's way at the bottom of the list because he has not played well. Now, my hope is this for the kid is that he rediscovers form. He starts playing better, not for Jamaica, for himself and his family and his future. Because he's not old in football terms anymore because football old is now 35, 36. It's no longer 28, 29. But I wish him the best in terms of him.
Old is now 35, 36?
Yeah, 35, 36 is old. Yeah. Don't use Ronaldo as an excuse. Don't use Ronaldo as an excuse. Okay. 35, 36 is. Don't use Ronaldo and why name they from.
He's not old.
No, he's not old. He's at his peak. He's supposed to be at 28 at your peak years. Because you'll go up on the other side after this. He should be at his peak, and his peak came early. Just like Sterling. Because Sterling about 30 now. Then peak come earlier than you would expect. Because if your game is about skill and speed, and that goes, and as you said, the mental part is not where it is, it's going to be a challenge, right? It's going to be a struggle. And for him, it's a struggle. So, Peter, I appreciate the call, sir.
Yeah, man, respect.
Yeah, bless up. All right, thanks.
Yeah, cool.
All right, Peter, not Peter, but everyone, I'll close on the program. I must say a couple of things. One is this. My hope is that the board for Jamaica Football Federation take some time to somebody sent me something about some of these coaches. I must Christy send me this. The coaches and their pedigree, and you can see a lot of coaches in this region have really great resumes, right? I think it's hard to get a Spanish coach in who can't speak English. That's why you should get a younger Spanish coach who's bilingual. I just saw something where Hendricks, who came from Real Madrid to France, in 4 months is speaking French. I find that really interesting. So he spent some time learning the language. But, hey, Peter, I should tell you, one of your friends who you know, if you stop begging for speed. Now, I'll tell you how to send it to me, Peter, but you know him. Play ball with him. But I'll say this, which is, my hope is that Jamaica make the right decision when it comes to the coaches. Don't just go pick somebody because you know them and you're my friend, or moving in the same circle, or in the elite circle of Jamaica. Really go through a very rigorous, thoughtful process to identify a coach. And in fact, Jamaica, and I've said this before, and I'm very disappointed about this, Jamaica should not be searching for a coach in an open interview process. I've been saying this for the last 4 years. You should have a listing of coaches hierarchically who you're going to pursue when you lose a coach. If your coach is doing excellent and they're embedded in your organization, you should still have your list, and your list keep changing because of facts and circumstances. So when you need a coach, you just go pull up on a list. And you go down in hierarchy and just pick which one of them that are ready, available, you go to the other one. We should be doing that. I don't think we're doing that. Anyway, I have to go, people. It's that time of the evening. My Knicks playing against 76ers. Let's hope we don't lose. Before you leave, hit the like button. I appreciate you being here. It's been an interesting process to hear that the board of Jamaica is setting an example for the larger Jamaica that you have to be independent. You have to be agnostic about how you make certain decisions. You can't make decisions by just picking people who you know and who you're friend with or who are run things. And even though I have nothing against Rudolph Speed, but the process to select the coach has to be an open one. We can't just put Speed in the rule. Because as I've said before numerous times, Rudolph, you own this failure. And we don't reward failure. I didn't say so, Peter, you did. All right, people. So bless up everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And go watch the next play. Bless up DJ Fatal. And by the way, Bam, I know Bam said something earlier about the players need rest. Yeah, Bam, if a player need rest, don't bring him. That's my view. If a player need rest, Bam, because it's a long season. But I would love to see Max Evans playing a Jamaica uniform. I'd love to see Jonathan Rowe. I'd love to see a Keenan Davis. I would love to see what's Conor Marty brother name and play for Scotland now. Under 20. Bring in some of the young players too, when them feel the vibes. I heard the Unity Cup vibes is something to be holding on. I have some friend like Apollo who have been on my channel who have gone to these events and them love it. Because the Jamaicans, them when they get together overseas, because them away from the homeland, them love the vibes, them love the environment, and them love support the country. Some of them don't want them. But anyway, peace out, people. Have a good night. Bless up. Appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Good night.